Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name's Melissa and today we're going to do a Renaissance Fair look. So let's hop into it. So we're going to start off with priming, and this is the Touch in Soul Pretty Filtered Glassy Skin Balm Primer. And I'm just going to take a little bit on my finger, just about that much, and just put it around on my face. I'm going to rub that in. Next we're going to do foundation. So my absolute favorite foundation at the moment is by Estee Lauder. It is the Double Wear Stay in Place Makeup. This is perfect if you have oily skin like I do and you want something to last throughout the day. I usually do about 2 pumps, and this pump is kind of new, so give it a little time. And I'm just going to start off with that much just on my hand right there. So then I'm going to take a moist sponge, so just kind of wet this down, squeeze it out. I'm going to dab that in here and start placing it on my face. And I'm just blending it down my neck because nobody likes to have that foundation line on the jawline right here where you did your foundation and then the neck is a different color. First of all, that's a bad color match. Second of all, that's embarrassing. So we want to make sure that that line is blended out. So moving on to concealer, I'm going to take my Tarte Shape Tape, and this has a pretty large doe foot applicator. And it's a very high coverage concealer. That's good for covering up things that you want to cover up, but you have to be careful because you can easily use too much of this product. So I'm just going to put a little bit under my eyes, and then on any areas that I see need a little bit of extra coverage. I always put a little bit more on the tip of my nose, a little bit up here, and a little bit down here. Those areas tend to rub off the most on me throughout the day. That just helps my makeup stay on longer. Alright, so now that I have that applied, I'm taking my sponge again and just kind of pouncing that in. Another thing that concealer can do for you, and typically you want to have a slightly lighter color of concealer than your foundation, is because it brightens up those areas such as dark eye bags or redness or anything like that. And also you can contour with your concealer, and you can put brightness on your forehead, your chin, on your cheekbones, and that really helps pull parts of your face forward. And when you contour with a darker color, that helps create more shadows. So you're kind of changing the construction of your face, which can be really appealing. And it's all up to you if that's something that you want to do, or if it's something that you just don't feel like you need to, want to, have the time, anything like that. And I have a little friend with me today. He decided to join me for filming. This is Harvey. Let's say hi. He loves the camera, he loves people. And your hair is getting all in my makeup, so let's put you down. Bye, bunny. Hi. Hair on the face. Hair on the face. So next we're going to do powder, and my favorite powder at the moment is by Maybelline. It is the Fit Me powder. My color is 05 Fair. They do have a really good range of powders and foundations, so that's why I really like using this powder. And for my face, because it does get so oily, I am going to set all over my face, but I am going to focus primarily on my T-zone here. And what I do to pick up the product is I have just a little bit here in my container, and I dip my brush in, and then I take the lid and I just swirl it around. That really helps me distribute the product on my brush, and when I put it down, I'm not just getting a huge glob of product in one place. Next thing I'm going to do is my brows, but I am going to do that off camera, but I will have a separate video for you to watch to see in depth how I do my brows. Now that I have my brows done, I'm going to do the rest of the skin. So I'm going to start off with a little bit of bronzer. My favorite bronzer at the moment is the Butter Bronzer by Physicians Formula, and this is in the color Light. So I'm going to take that on a really fluffy brush. This is the same brush that I used for the powder on my face earlier. I'm just going to dip into that, tap off the excess, and go around the perimeter of my forehead. I'm also going to highlight right here on my forehead because that's where the light would naturally hit me. And I'm also going to take that bronzer and put it on my cheekbones as well as my nose. Because the look I'm going for is that Renaissance peasant girl that's been outside all day picking flowers and she put it in her hair. So I really want that glowy, sun-kissed look. Next, I'm going to go in with my blush. And the blush I'm using today is the OFRA and Madison Miller collab blush. And this one is called All I Need Is Love. Ollie, like the name Ollie. It's so cute. So again, just dipping in, tapping off the excess. And I'm starting up here near my temple because where I first put my brush down is where you're going to have the most color. And so just going along that cheekbone. Oh my goodness, that's pigmented. Look how much pigment that is. Oh my gosh. I'm going to wipe off my brush as best as I can and just kind of blend that in. So I'm just going over it again and again, just to kind of diffuse that and really work the color in where I want it. Highlighter! So this one is by Laura Geller, New York, and this is the Baked Gelato Swirl Illuminator in Gilded Honey. I'm going to take a tapered highlighting brush and just dip that in, tap off the excess, and I'm going to put it here on my cheekbone. Just kind of start up here at the corner of my eye, not quite all the way back at my temple, but just here right on the edge where the sun would naturally hit. This is again just to give that glow, that lit from within feel, and just make it look like you've been outside all day and you're just glowing. I'm also going to take a little bit of it here, tap it off again, and I'm going to put a little bit here up on the top above my arch, right where I put that bronzer again. Just a little dusting of it there. And finally, I'm going to take my finger, I'm going to dip it in here, just swirl it around a little bit. I can't really tap off my finger, I mean you can try, but nothing's really going to come off. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to lightly tap the tip of my nose. Look at that. Wow. So I'm also going to take that and I'm going to put just a little bit right here. Now what highlighting the tip of your nose and the bridge of your nose here does for you is it really helps bring those parts of your face forward. It just helps bring attention to those spots and helps you look glowing. Now moving on from highlighting, we're going to do the opposite of that. So we're going to contour. So what I like to use for contouring is actually a pretty older product, and it is by Maybelline. It is the Master Contour palette, and this is in the color light to medium. And I like to take this color here, starting here at my temple, bringing it down and working it in. So the reason why I like to use this a lot for contouring is because it has a cooler color to it. So it's not a very warm brown, it has more of those yellows and reds and all that in it like a bronzer would. It has more of those cooler colors, which that is more what your shadows would have. Now, when you are contouring your face, you do want to look up different guides. There's a lot of them on the internet, but you want to pay attention to the shape of your face, and that will show you where you need to highlight and where you need to contour. Again, it really just has to do with your personal preference. And the final place that I like to contour is on my forehead, just right here, literally in my temple, because this is where we put our highlight. This is where I want to put the shadow to, again, help pull this forward. At this point, you may be thinking, great, we're done with skin. No, because what I really want to do for this look is emphasize that we've been out in the sun and we've really gotten that glow going on. Again, well, naturally, I have a lot of freckles on my face, but this foundation is such a high coverage foundation that all of those freckles are gone. So I do actually want to add in some of those freckles again. So I'm going to take a few different products. One is the NYX Eyebrow Powder Pencil in the color Caramel, and the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Definer in Caramel. And I'm also going to take my NYX Precision Brow Pencil in Soft Brown. And I'm going to take a combination of these, and I'm actually going to put freckles all over my face, and I'm going to tap those out a little bit just to give me some faux freckles again. I'm going to start with the Anastasia Beverly Hills. Now this one does have a triangular shaped applicator, so what I'm going to do is just use the very tip of it, put that on my face, and kind of turn it in a circle just to give me that little freckle shape. And again, I'm really focusing on my cheek area, here on the cheekbone, on the bridge of my nose, on my forehead, again over here. Just putting in different areas that I know I naturally have freckles. Alright, so you can see that some of those are pretty pronounced, like this one right here. So I'm going to just rub that in and diffuse it, meaning making the edges a lot softer. So I'm just going to do that over each of these little dots that I've put on here. Also, when making your freckles, you want to change up the size, because if you look at natural freckles, not all of them are going to be the same size, the same shape, or even the same color. And that's why I went in with 3 different colors. I'm going to repeat that process with my other 2 brow pencils. Okay, and those are the freckles done. And I want to keep this looking pretty natural because we're in the Renaissance time. So I'm going to be using the Winky Luxe palette, and this is in Cashmere Kitten. Ah! Cat themed makeup is my all-time favorite. It could be the worst makeup and I will still buy it and I will still try it because it's cat themed. I know it's so dumb, but I don't care. I love it. So we are going to go into this palette. I'm going to dip into a little bit of Grumpy and Breading. Tap off the excess, and then I'm just going to go in here on my outer corner. I'm going to touch here first because that's really where I want to have most of the pigment at. I'm just going to pack that on. I'm not going to go too far on the outside. I'm just going to come out in a little bit of V here and then up and around. You'll notice that I have very hooded eyes. So the key to working with hooded eyes is not working in your natural crease. You want to come up above your natural crease, because if I put all the color here on my eye, then I open it, where'd it go? Where's the color? I did all that work and it's gone. So I'm going to take that and pull it up to about here. This is about where I have my new crease. So again, I'm going to dip in to Grumpy and Breading. I love that color name, Grumpy. That's so cute. And I'm just going to build up that color right here on the outside and bring it into my new crease. pulling that pigment. I haven't picked up anything new on my brush, it's just what's already there. And I'm pulling it down towards my inner corner. And again, that's just kind of finishing off the shape of my new crease. Before I blend the rest of that out, I'm going to pick up a little bit more of Grumpy and just put it on the outer corner here. And I'm following that same shape that I have, but I'm also pulling it in onto my lid just a little. Just about halfway, right about here. Then I'm going to take my larger brush, but I'm going to take a little bit of breading here, tap that off as much as possible. I'm not going to pick up any additional pigment on this. I'm just going to blend everything out into my natural skin color. So now that I'm done with that, I'm going to take my other Moda brush. I'm going to dip into this color here, which is Holographic Biscuits. How cute is that? I'm just going on my inner corner here just to give a little bit of that highlight. And don't worry, I didn't forget the lower lash line, so we're going to dip into Grumpy and breading and run it along the lower lash line, starting at the outer corner, pulling it out just to run along that same line that you have at the top eyeshadow. Pulling it under just about all the way, but not working on this part of my eye here. I'm going to leave that open because that's where we put the highlight, and we pull the highlight over here and in the inner corner because that really helps open your eyes and make you look more bright, more awake. So I'm going to follow up with just a little bit of Grumpy, tap that off, and put it just on the outer corner. So not pulling it all the way in like we did with the mixture, just on the outer corner. And I'm pulling that up here a little bit on the top lid as well. I'm going to follow that up with blending it out. So we'll take just a teeny little bit of breading, tap it off real good, and blend that in. I'm going to take a little bit more of the Holographic Biscuits. I'm going to highlight just underneath my brow bone. Okay, so I'm going to follow that up with a little bit of curling my lashes and putting on mascara. So I'm just using a little lash curler together, and I keep crimping as I move further out. Then I'm going to follow it up with my absolute favorite mascara, which is by SMASHBOX. This is a super fan mascara in the color black. And then go in. You want to set down the wand at the very base of your lashes and then saw back and forth as you move upwards. So what I also like to do is I like to put mascara on the bottom lashes, and that really helps to open up the eyes. So I'm going to go in, and again very carefully, starting at the base, sawing downwards. And I don't go all the way into my inner corner. I go just about halfway into my eye. So I'm going to go ahead and do my other eye, and I'll be right back. We're going to move on to the lips, and I'm going to use a very nude natural color, and this is the BUXOM lip liner in Stealth. I'm going to take this pencil and just outline my natural lip shape. And now I'm going to fill the rest of my lips in with the pencil. And finally for the lips, I'm going to take a little bit of clear gloss. I just want it to be kind of shiny because the pencil is pretty drying. So again, I'm going to take the NYX Filler Instinct Clear Plumping Gloss. I'm just going to dab that onto my lips. And my absolute favorite setting spray at the moment is by Gerard Cosmetics, and this is the Slay All Day Setting Spray. My favorite scent, they have a couple different scents. My favorite scent right now is this green tea scent. I love anything green tea, and if I can have something scented with that, then I'm all for it. I'm going to take my fan and let it dry. If you like this video and you want to see more, make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit that bell button. That'll let you know anytime I upload a new video. Thank you so much for being here, and I can't wait to see you on the next one. Bye. Okay. So, Mr. Wendell wants to join me. This is my kitty cat. Mr. Wendell, I love you. Because those areas tend to... Hi, Harvey. I didn't prime.